Slendytubbies is one of those unique cases where it's something that was probably made as a joke and would have faded into obscurity. However, here we are, 12 years later, and there are 7 games. Yes, I said 7, I counted. What was a cheaply made Slender the 8 Pages knockoff is now something that is almost entirely unrecognizable, and arguably better than the original Slender Man. We're talking maps, game modes, a bunch of new monsters, lore, FPS, DLC. It's bizarre to compare what Slendytubbies was to what it is today. And honestly, its popularity has never really dwindled. Naturally, when a game becomes so popular, fan games are bound to be made. It's a clone with clones of its own. And sometimes, very occasionally, some of those clones turn out better than the original. And we're going to talk about a few of them today. Before I properly get started today, I've not put these in any particular order. They are all great in their own right, but they all have their own flaws. Most of them are abandoned. But I'm not going to get too in-depth because I want you all to play them if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. And if your favourite fan game doesn't make this video, then let me know down in the comments, because I'm sure I haven't played them all. Yet. Now, I've never played this one for the channel because it kinda lacks content, but I'm including it here to prove a point. Say what you want about the Unity versus Unreal debate, but you cannot deny how much better this game looks. I would say about 99% of Slendytubbies fan games are made in Unity, and it is so painfully obvious. I think that there's a good reason there are so many other horror fan games, and they're titled the Unreal Remake, not the Unity Remake. And as a 3D artist and part-time game developer, I'm contractually obliged to say that Unity sucks. You really just have to experience this game to feel how different the atmosphere is. I don't think any other Slendytubbies maps have given me the chills quite like these. Jesus! It's just so horrifying! It's so... Oh god. I don't want to get too technical into game engines. Unity and Unreal are two sides of the same coin, but Unreal has a fantastic lighting system and is arguably easier to use for small-time developers. I'm hoping that explains why I had so much fun in this game. Ooh. Oh my god. See, that was freaking insane! Now see... Ah! Yes, it's got a microphone button. I press V. I can speak. Oh, okay, it does work. It works. It totally works. That's so cool. But more importantly, it was able to do the one thing that most Slendytubbies fan games don't. It actually scared me. On multiple occasions. I'm not going to be able to push him in. Oh! Oh! Ah! Whoa! Whoa! What? What the hell? Oh my god! No. I'm not here. Oh no. Oh, really bad. Ah! Jesus. It's actually just something else. Like, I don't even know. I truly hope there are Unreal developers out there gearing up for a fully fleshed out Slendytubbies fan game. I'd do it myself if I wasn't already in the midst of a different project. The point is, Unreal remakes have massive potential. Potential to put the Slendy back into Slendytubbies. Go and play the Unreal remake for yourself and you'll see a noticeable difference in the creep factor most of these games lack. Okay, let's talk about Vwriter's games. This developer made Slendytubbies The Other Story, which has by far some of the most unique, beautiful, and wacky environments in any Slendytubbies fan game. Honestly, I can't help it, those skyboxes are just stunning. That goes without saying that The Other Story is very much a standard collect mode game. You know, different maps, different enemies, that sort of thing. It's been done before. But don't let me discredit The Other Story. I had a lot of fun here. Nice water. Ah! What? Oh, man. Whoa, you're fast. What the hell? Jesus. I mean, that is quite scary. Yeah. Lee's trapped. I have him trapped at the bottom of the lake. But that's not why I'm talking about this. You see, Vwriter is the only developer here that I've actually been in contact with. And they let me in on the ground floor for an upcoming project many years ago. I saw some very competent game mechanics for a brand new fan game called Slendytubbies Danger Zone. And I'm not going to be showing you any of this because that would just be rude. But I don't have to because you can see these in action on their channel. I'm super excited about this project because from the very brief clips, you can ultimately see an incredible landscape and atmosphere paired with some mental mechanics. I mean, have you ever in your whole life seen a Slendytubby jump? I hadn't until now. It's looking to be something completely different and I will be playing this as soon as possible. It's safe to say Slendytubbies fan games with in-depth narrative and story modes are few and far between. Then enter one of the first I ever played with Slendytubbies They're Coming. It's an interesting name. This one definitely has world building at the forefront of its concept, which is always nice, but what I appreciate most about this game is that it populates the world with more than just the A-list characters and enemies. For example, the main protagonists, or the old man who survives the attack on the village. Or how about the massive number of unrecognised bodies in the Teletubby house? This was something that Slendytubbies 3 did first, like the satellite station, but it's so hard to come across this layer of storytelling in other fan games, aside from putting OCs in it. We don't talk about that. I won't get into the story, you'll just have to play it for yourself. But another thing is that Tinky Winky is, well, he's actually scary. He's elusive. Clearly some sort of otherworldly being. He doesn't just want to kill you, he wants to mess with you. Yeah, he's gone. Should have double tapped, man. However, I do have issues with this game. Of course. Issues do arise from going heavy on lore, especially when you're dealing with a demo with a 20 to 30 minute runtime. Essentially the entire game is a series of QuickTime events and cutscenes. I totally get the whole QTE controversy. It completely distracts from the feeling that you're playing a game, you know, like a survival horror game. But it's also important to note that balancing gameplay and lore is extremely difficult to pull off effectively. Now the QTEs with the newborns on the trails are pretty metal, you know, the first time you do it. Every other time is just stab, dead, stab, dead, stab, dead. And another part that kind of frustrated me was the bit at the beginning where you're looking for something to break down the door. Both in this playthrough and the very first time I played it, it took me at least 15 minutes to find the crowbar. And the reason why, I think I explained here. Yeah. You see? It took way too long to find that last time, and it took too long to find it this time. Because this door is locked and you can't open it, and that has the same door. And you're like, oh, I can't go in there either. With all that being said though, I'm pleased to say that this game is something that you should look out for, especially in December, as Host Game Studio has announced that it will be releasing its game on the 12th of the 12th this year, and it'll actually be the 12-year anniversary of the original Slendytubbies. When better? The Devil Among Us. There is far too much to cover in this video. But, if you want it summed up, it's kind of like a hacked client for Slendytubbies 3 multiplayer, and it took me far too long to discover. I can say without offending anyone that The Devil Among Us is probably the fan game that's had the most amount of time, care and work ground into it. You have a fully functioning multiplayer mode, 14 plus maps, most of them with daytime variants, 7 game modes, tons of new enemies, which have rare variants of their own, and a super competent sandbox mode. This is not what I wanted. There's even lore if you know where to look. I think until the Guardian collection is released, I can safely say that The Devil Among Us has become the community's Slendytubbies 4. The main way it diverges from its predecessor is that the monsters don't just chase you. They use their dark magic or weird superpowers as a weapon against you, and in some cases... Oh my god. I had a good conversation with some of you in my previous video about this. I do feel that it is an immersion breaker, but it's so much better than the standard run around for half an hour knowing they can't get you. Oh, I found it! Oh! Oh, I have to get to the exit! But that's just collect mode. My honest to god favourite thing to do in The Devil Among Us is boss rushes. You get to see in immediate succession all the wacky new bosses. They all have custom icons and names and weapons, and it's just so cool. And no, I haven't beaten it yet. I think the design is that you kill arrow copy before you do this. You want 2 health? Oh yeah, I've got a medkit. Oh! It's honestly hard to fault. Some of the maps do kinda look unfinished. It still has that Unity look to it. And the footsteps are just far too loud. You have to go such an epic distance to not be able to hear their footsteps. I'm at the other side of the map and I can still hear it. That's crazy. I've definitely mentioned it in the other videos. But other than that, you'll be sure to catch me in the lobby if you boot it up. Now the next one might just be the best one on the list. Before I do, let me show you a little something called GamsGo. So I got an email from a company called GamsGo. They asked if I wanted to be an affiliate. I'm a skeptical guy. Usually I don't go for these sorts of things. I never really think I'm going to promote something that I don't actually genuinely use. But this might be the one exception. I'm sure most of you, like me, have a billion subscription services and you're fed up with how they keep putting the price up. I told you there was a way to get them cheaper. Would you believe me? No? How about I show you anyway? GamsGo works by setting up shared accounts for a bunch of users and yourself. You pay a piece of the pie and have access to a premium profile on one of these accounts. The options vary from where you are in the world, but new services pop up from time to time and you can even suggest your own. For example, say I want to watch such masterpieces as the Junji Ito collection. Maybe I want to get a bit of discounted merch for my friends. 60 quid. Bit steep. So here you can see that I can gain access to a mega fan account for 3 months for €11.99 equal to €4 a month, or do 6 months at $21.99 equal to $3.67 a month. Now I can watch Wolf's Raid, no, what was it? Junji Ito collection. And you can get these subscriptions even cheaper if you use my promo code SoariN. Never thought I'd get to say that. Here you can see that you get given the shared username and password, and even tells you which profile to use. If you have any issues at all getting into your account or the passkey needs to be reset, GamsGo have 24/7 support and also some frequently asked questions. If you want to check it out for yourself, I suggest you use my affiliate link down below. It all works out cheaper. It's a no-brainer. Thank you very much for listening. Much appreciated. Let's get back to it. I'm not going to reveal too much about this one. I really want you to play it for yourself. Sadly, there's not too much I can spoil about it. And I know I said I wouldn't place these in any particular order, but I need to make myself very clear when I say that The Last Hope is my favourite fan game ever. Let's start with the basics. I believe there was a stereotypical version of the original Slendytubbies in its own style that came out a little bit before. Oh! God, don't do that. Okay, yes, no. What the hell's going on? But this campaign version easily stands on its own. It's more or less a classic retelling of the OG story, but it is so much better. It's eerie, it's atmospheric, tense, and it is damn upsetting. Yeah. Ooh. Oh.
Hang on, Nala. Just... It's gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay.
Look into the light. It's a Unity game, but it doesn't even feel like one. It's got voice acting, and it provides different outcomes based on how you react. Oh, so if you do nothing, she dies. That's insane.
Hang on, Lala. Just... It's gonna be okay.
No, she's dead.
Everything is...
In essence, it's a concept of a better Slendytubbies. Or, to put it a better way, proof of concept that an exceptionally effective horror game can be made using the original source material. Even the drone of the wind turbine in the distance adds its own air of unease. You just can't find this in any other fan games. And don't get me started on that epic chase music. But I think my absolute favourite part about The Last Hope is the inclusion of the Phantom Tubby. That is still so cool. It adds an extra layer of mystery and complexity to the Slendytubbies story and opens up a whole slew of questions. The only criticism I could possibly give The Last Hope is that it just didn't scare me. Not at all. Oh, oh, Jesus. Oh my, oh God. It's perfect. Now finish it, Felix. It is harsh to criticize unfinished fan games. Most of them are. But the only real incentive to finish a fan game is exposure, a place in the community, but not money. So although my favourite fan game will not be finished, we can find comfort in Felix's other titles, like The Tabung. I haven't played it yet, but it looks freaking crazy. Look at that face. Oh my God. I'm going to wrap this video up by saying that I believe the best is yet to come. Exciting projects are on the way, and although this was a whistle-stop tour of the best out there, this train don't stop. Join me in another few years. Maybe by then, I'll have published a clone of my own.